Why housewives hold untapped emotional capital. The coffee had gone cold again. Another morning, balancing the noise of the house and the quiet question she kept avoiding. Can I really build something of my own? She wasn't chasing millions, just freedom. The kind that fits between nap times and school pickups. For years, she'd been told her work mattered. Raising children, managing a home, holding everything together. But somewhere along the way, she started to wonder if that was enough. Not for anyone else. For her, the idea didn't come from a business book. It came from the mess on her kitchen table, the crafts she made to keep the kids busy, the recipes she tweaked until they were perfect, the way she could organize chaos into something that actually worked. She had skills, real ones. But no one had ever told her they were worth anything beyond the walls of her home. Part of her still felt guilty for wanting more, as if ambition had to disappear when motherhood began, as if dreaming about independence meant she didn't love what she already had. Maybe success just wasn't meant for someone like her. But then something shifted. A friend mentioned selling homemade candles online. Another talked about virtual assistants who worked from home. Small things, quiet things, things that didn't require an office or a degree or permission from anyone. She started paying attention differently, not to what she lacked, but to what she already knew how to do. The truth is, housewives hold something the business world constantly searches for, but rarely finds. Emotional capital. It's the ability to read a room before anyone speaks, to anticipate needs before they become problems, to build trust through consistency, patience, and presence. These aren't soft skills. They're survival skills honed through years of managing tiny humans, tight budgets, and impossible schedules. According to recent studies, small home-based businesses led by women are growing 40% faster than other segments. Proof that clarity often beats capital. But here's what those studies don't capture: the internal battle that comes before the first step. She almost gave up until one message changed everything. A woman she didn't know reached out after seeing something she posted online. Just a simple comment: "I needed to hear this today. Thank you." It wasn't about the product. It wasn't about the sale. It was about connection, the kind she'd been building her whole life without realizing it was a currency. What would you have done in her place? She started small. Not because she was afraid of dreaming big, but because small was all she had time for. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Nap time became her office hours. Her first attempt was clumsy. The website looked homemade because it was. The photos were taken on her phone. The prices felt like guesses. But she launched anyway because waiting for perfect would have meant waiting forever. Then came the doubt, the kind that whispers louder than failure. What if no one buys? What if people think it's silly? What if her husband's family asks why she's wasting time on a hobby when the house needs attention? The noise was relentless. But so was she. She smiled, not because it was easy, but because it was finally hers. The first sale came 3 weeks later, $12. Barely enough to cover materials. But it wasn't about the money, it was about the proof. Proof that she could create something people wanted. Proof that her instincts were worth trusting. Sometimes growth doesn't look like progress. It looks like staying. Staying consistent when no one's watching. Staying curious when results are slow. Staying hopeful when the voice in your head says quit. Her workspace was still her kitchen counter, but it no longer felt like chaos. It felt like possibility. Here's what most people misunderstand about housewives entering business. They're not starting from zero. They're starting from a foundation of skills most entrepreneurs spend years trying to develop. Conflict resolution. Try mediating sibling disputes daily. Time management. Try coordinating schedules for an entire household. Budget optimization. Try feeding a family unlimited resources while still making it feel abundant. Marketing. That's every school event, every play date, every conversation where you subtly influence without pushing. Sales. That's convincing a toddler that vegetables are exciting. One of the hardest closes in existence. Customer service. That's years of de-escalating tantrums, managing expectations, and delivering care even when you're exhausted. These aren't skills you learn in a classroom. They're forged in real time, under pressure, with no manual and no backup plan. But the business world doesn't always see it that way. Resumes don't have a section for kept 3 humans alive while running a household and maintaining sanity. LinkedIn doesn't celebrate the mother who negotiated peace between warring children before breakfast. So many women walk into entrepreneurship thinking they need to start learning, when really, they need to start translating. What if the skills you've been using for free are exactly what someone else would pay for? She didn't realize it at first, but when she started offering organizing consultations, people didn't just want tips, they wanted her presence, her calm, her ability to see solutions where others saw only clutter. When she launched a meal prep service for busy families, clients didn't just buy food, they bought time, relief, and the feeling of being cared for. Her business wasn't just about what she sold. It was about how she made people feel, and that came from years of practice in the most demanding role she'd ever had. Then came the next wave of doubt, this time from the outside. Family members asked when she'd get a real job. Friends wondered if it was really worth the effort for such small returns. Even strangers online questioned whether stay-at-home moms had the discipline to run a business. The assumptions were exhausting, as if being home meant being idle, as if raising children wasn't the most complex project management role in existence. But she kept going, not to prove them wrong, but to prove herself right. Because here's the hidden truth about emotional capital. It compounds. Every conversation builds trust. Every helpful post strengthens credibility. Every small act of service creates a reputation that spreads quietly, organically, powerfully. She wasn't shouting into the void. She was planting seeds, and some of them were already blooming. 6 months in, she had her first repeat customer, then her first referral, then her first month where income exceeded expenses. It wasn't life-changing money, but it was life-affirming momentum. Her husband noticed the change before she did, not in the bank account, but in her energy. She laughed more, worried less, stopped apologizing for wanting something that was hers. What helped her the most wasn't just access to simple tools and online courses. It was realizing she didn't need permission to start small. She tested a few approaches before finding what truly worked. And honestly, it changed everything. This isn't a promotion, just something that made her path a little lighter. The biggest shift wasn't external. It was internal. She stopped seeing herself as just a mom and started seeing herself as someone who could hold multiple identities at once. Mother, entrepreneur, creator, learner. One didn't erase the other. They coexisted. They even strengthened each other. The patience she practiced with her kids became the patience she offered her business. The creativity she used to entertain toddlers became the creativity she used to solve customer problems. Motherhood didn't limit her business. It informed it, and that's the advantage no MBA can teach. What would the world look like if every housewife recognized the value she already holds? Not someday, right now. Not after the kids grow up, or the schedule clears, or confidence magically appears. Now in the mess, in the middle, in the mundane moments that actually make up most of life. Because the truth is, some of the most innovative businesses are born from necessity, not inspiration. From women who looked at what they had, not what they lacked, and asked, how can I use this? She didn't wait for perfect timing. She didn't wait for a silent house or an empty calendar. She built in the margins, and the margins became her foundation. Her story isn't unique, but it's also not common enough. Too many women still believe that ambition and motherhood can't coexist. That choosing yourself means neglecting someone else. That starting small isn't worth starting at all. But small is how everything begins. Small is where courage lives. Small is the only place transformation actually happens. When she poured her coffee the next morning, it was still hot, because this time, she wasn't rushing. She was building. Not a empire, not a brand, just something honest, something sustainable, something that felt like hers. And maybe that's the real definition of success, not the numbers or the recognition, but the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can create value on your own terms, in your own time. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace consultation or assistance from a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance, business, or investments. Tell us what part of her story resonated with you most and where you're watching from. Your journey might just inspire the next one. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video. Bye.